righty. Well, it's after dark now. It's after 7 o'clock p.m. And as promised, I'm going to give you the lowdown and the update on the Buy Me a Coffee Fund. Because as I've said before, I believe in transparency. And I want you all to know that your hard-earned money that you contribute to me, that you could use for your own things, for your own personal needs or whatever, is not going, for hookers and cocaine and whatever. It's it's not going for anything like that. I want you to know that, and I need you to know that. And I believe in accountability. I believe that if you are on the receiving end of some generosity, which is not, there's one thing when it's money that you have earned or money you're entitled to. That's a different thing. If you go and you work and you earn your wages, whatever you spend it on is your business. You don't have to answer to anybody for that as far as I'm concerned. But because this is contributions from people who watch the channel and want to help me out in different ways and stuff, and I want to be transparent as to where your money's going, so that you'll know that it is going to help me and not to, put me into further problems, with addictions or whatever it may be. Whatever it is you may think that you may worry about me doing with it, if you do worry about that. I'm thinking if you worried about it too much, you wouldn't contribute, But still, for my own sake, I feel that I should be accountable, because it makes me feel better about accepting the help if I'm accountable to the people who give it. And for that reason, I'm going to now give you the lowdown on the Buy Me a Coffee Fund. The figures are not going to be right down to the cent, because I'm not good with numbers and I'm not going to be able to do that. So for the most part, some figures will be down to the cent and some of them will be just close, roughly. So if you do the math on this, it may not add up to the penny, but it'll add up within a few dollars, Anyway, here we go. I'm going to tell you what's going on. First, we look at Rocky, with the patented Camp Crazy, Rocky Cam. There he is. Ooh, hi, Rocky. The Rocky Cam flying overhead. Ooh, there you go. Okay, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. I love you. All right, here we go. Let's get down to business now. We've had our little fun there with Rocky. Now let's get down to business. All right, Rocky is fun, that's for sure. He's a great fella to have around, I'll tell you. Keeps me entertained. All right, the total contribution so far, and I'm going to be telling you U.S. funds as opposed to Canadian funds, because I didn't realize this until I got my first payout to the bank. But it's all the Buy Me a Coffee site. Everything's in U.S. funds. So any numbers that appear on my homepage and the Buy Me a Coffee site are in U.S. funds. And as you know, the Canadian dollar is in the toilet. And so the Canadian dollar is worth about 40 cents less than a U.S. dollar. So a U.S. dollars buy more Canadian dollars, basically. If you have 10 U.S. dollars, you can buy more than $10 in Canadian money with that, because we're about 40 cents. Our dollar's worth about 40 cents less than an American dollar, and a greenback, as they say. Anyway, total contribution so far, 1,205 U.S. funds. That's divided amongst 8 contributors. Okay. Now, I made a withdrawal from the account of $772. That's U.S. funds, which translates to, when it hit my bank account in Canadian funds, it is $1,084 in Canadian funds. Okay. Now, I took $300 cash out of the bank yesterday, out of the $1,084 that I received. So it's $300 Canadian funds I took out of the bank. The first thing I did is I put gasoline in the truck. I bought $150 worth of gasoline, which almost filled the truck. The needle was just touching empty, and it nearly filled it for that. Yeah, gasoline's very expensive here, and the truck likes its gas. It has a big gas tank, and it knows how to empty it. So anyway, $150 for gasoline out of the $300 in cash that I took out. I spent $25 at the laundromat to basically wash my clothes, to wash my shirts and my pants and my underwear and socks and everything. All that needed to be done. I didn't have anything clean left to wear. And then I went to what was the Tractor Supply store, what is now called Peavey Mart in Canada. But for you people in the US, it's Tractor Supply, basically. They've just changed the name to Peavey Mart. They're closing up all the Peavey Marts, or Tractor Supplies, in Canada, including the one in Smiths Falls. Anyway, I went to the Smiths Falls Tractor Supply / Peavey Mart store, and I spent $89 there, because they're having, of course, a going out of business sale, so things are quite a bit cheaper. I got a pair of limb loppers, which I have needed badly. That's for my business. So again, that's an investment to make money on the other end when I'm doing my work in the spring and summer and fall, property type work like that. So I got that. That's going to help me out greatly. And I got a good deal on them. I ended up getting a pair of loppers that would normally cost $44 for around $24, roughly. All right. I also bought a bag of kitty litter for Rocky. It was normally $7. I ended up buying it for $5. And also I bought a 4-pound small sledgehammer, which again is something that I've needed. I don't know what it is about those things. They keep getting stolen on me. I've had so many of them, and they always seem to get stolen. I was using one when I worked for the auctioneer, and it disappeared, and I have an idea of where it went, but I'd never be able to prove it. I believe one of my co-workers stole it on me. But like I say, I'd never be able to prove it. But this fellow was kind of light-fingered. In fact, he got caught stealing from our boss even. He did. So, and then he was fired. But there's that. I had another one stolen out. I've had 2 of them stolen out of cars that I owned. And I had another one stolen one time when I was taking parts off a car in one of those U-Pole yards. I had my toolbox in a wheelbarrow, and I was underneath a car getting parts off it. And somebody come along and lifted the hammer out of my toolbox. So I lost it one then too. So anyway, now I have another one. I'm going to try to hold on to it this time. Anyway, I got a good deal on it too. I spent a total of $89 at Tractor Supply / Peavey Mart. Those are Canadian funds because, of course, I'm in Canada. I also placed an order on Amazon. What I got at Amazon, or what's coming, I haven't got it yet, but it's coming. I got a new oscillating saw to replace the oscillating saw that I had, that I burnt out when I was doing some renovations on the cap of my truck. When I was cutting a piece out of the cap to give myself more room in there. Burnt the thing right out. It was a battery-powered thing, a rechargeable thing. I bought a corded one this time. I find stuff that has a cord that plugs into the mains generally lasts better than battery-powered stuff, even though battery-powered stuff is more versatile, and battery-powered stuff has come a long way, and it's better than it used to be. It's still not great. Really, it don't last under heavy use. So anyway, I bought a new oscillating saw. I now have the power box, and I have a generator. So I have no shortage of AC power to run an oscillating saw off of, and I believe one that plugs into 120 volt AC will be better than what I had. I think it'll last longer. At least that's what I'm hoping. Anyway, I got that. I'm getting that. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. The oscillating saw come to $82 Canadian. I also bought cat food for Rocky, the wet cat food I get for him, the Friskies in the 32 can box. I ordered that. That's $28 Canadian. And I also ordered a new hat, which is $74 Canadian plus, and with the hat there's another $14 in shipping. I wasn't able to get the free shipping on the hat, even though I'm an Amazon member. They weren't offering it for the hat. I bought the hat because the hat that I'm wearing now is getting pretty rough looking, and it's actually starting to look like a hobo's hat, and it's a little embarrassing. So I bought a good hat anyway. It's actually an Australian hat, and it's quite stylish. I'll show it to you when I get it. I can't really show you pictures now because I'd have to have the Amazon site in front of me, and in order to do that, it just wouldn't work anyway, because then I'd have to shut down the video to bring the Amazon site up. Anyway, all right, so in the account at the moment, there is $326 US funds in the Buy Me a Coffee Fund account. $326 US, which comes out to $456 Canadian. Okay, and I still have $532 in the bank of my original withdrawal that I made, which came to $10.84 Canadian, or $7.72 US. So I got $532 Canadian remaining in the bank from that. Most of that will go next week because I'm going to need to do my back taxes. I've got 4 years worth of back taxes to do, and I've made an appointment to do them next Wednesday. And each return is going to cost between $114 and $150, depending on whether they decide to make it a commercial return or a personal return. And that will really have a lot to do with what would put me in the best position with the government. Like I say, that money will be returned to me, though, because the tax credits and everything that I've missed out on, I'll be getting all that back. So that money will come back to me, plus a lot more for doing it. And I won't have to worry that the government's going to just arbitrarily decide to do my taxes for me and make me out to be some sort of a millionaire tycoon who hasn't paid taxes in 4 years, So anyway, I actually had to have a friend who ran a body shop, and that happened to him. He didn't file taxes for a long time, and then the government decided they'd do his taxes for him, and they gave him a huge bill for back taxes, way more than he would have owed had he just done the taxes on his own. And he had an awful time getting out from under that. In fact, I don't know if he was able to get out from under it. I'm not sure how that ended up. But I remember he was running around trying to scrape together documents and stuff in order to prove that he wasn't running some huge multi-million-dollar company. He was doing body work out of an old barn, is what he was doing, Very talented man. It was amazing the work he could do. And the guy's half blind, too, yet he still did amazing work. But there's another body shop guy I know that I talk about, another friend of mine that didn't do such amazing work. They're two different people. So if you get confused by me saying the guy did amazing work, I'm not talking about the guy that was using the rocker guard to cover the rust or whatever. I told that story in another video. It's not the same person. Anyway, they're both friends of mine, though, and I like them both, and I have no issues with either of them. But one of them really wasn't a great body man, and the other was. And the one who was a great body man wasn't great at filing taxes, and he really suffered for that. How badly he suffered, I don't know, because like I say, I don't know if he was ultimately able to get out from under it or not. But I know he was pretty worried, and he was doing a lot of scurrying around trying to get his ducks in a row to dispute the government's assessment of his business. Anyway, that's it. That's all I can say for now. That's just the current state of the coffee fund. So I guess you can consider this a presidential State of the Union address. You know, as president of Camp Crazy, I'm giving you the State of the Union for Camp Crazy and for the Buy Me a Coffee Fund. Who am I kidding? I'm not president. The president's over here napping. Yeah, President Rocky. Long live President Rocky. All hail President Rocky. Hey, a fish in every pot. Anyway, that's where we're at. I hope you're all doing well. And thank you to those who contributed. And thank you to everyone who's wished me well and who's supported me along the way through this journey that I'm going through. This journey of survival, homelessness, and survival. And I'll talk to you all later. Have a good night.